Mexican jumping beans. When I was a kid, I saw so many references to these in comic books and on TV, and I thought that they weren't real. This is Jumping Beans from 1930. No, I'm not that old. It's just that this was conveniently in the public domain, and it shows Mexican jumping beans getting up to all sorts of shenanigans, so you can see why I thought that they were just fictional, something that cartoons had made up. I thought that they were a playground myth, kind of like how Marilyn Manson was supposed to have had a rib removed so that he could be better at yoga. But it turns out Mexican jumping beans are real. I mean, they're not Mexican, they don't jump, and they're not beans, so what the hell? Here's the hell. It starts with a shrub called Sebastiana pavonia, which grows in northern Costa Rica. It grows seed pods, not beans, and then a type of moth called Cydia saltitans comes along and lays its eggs in the seed pods. The eggs hatch and then the larvae burrow into the individual unripe seeds and then eat them inside out, so that it effectively becomes like a hollow shell. When the seed pods ripen enough and they fall to the ground, they shatter and break into 3 individual seeds, each with a larva inside it, and each of those seeds is what we would call a Mexican jumping bean. But how and why do they jump? The how is as simple as it is genius. Because there are little larvae inside of a hollow shell, what they do is they curl up and then rapidly uncurl their bodies, smacking into the side of that hollow shell, which causes the little jump. But why do they do it? Easy. Heat. Managing heat is extremely important for basically all living things. It's true for us, and it's true for tiny little bugs on the floor of a dry tropical region like Costa Rica, where the temperature difference between sun and shade can be 5 to 10 degrees C. So it's the difference between getting cooked and not. So if the seed gets too hot, it's bad news for the larvae inside, but they don't seem to have much, if any, directional control where they jump. So what do? Well, they can sense their temperature and they can move a little bit in a random direction. So they combine these into a strategy called the random walk. Basically, they sense their temperature, and when they start to get too hot, they start moving in a random direction in the hopes that they find somewhere cooler. And then when they cool down again into the right temperature range, they slow down or stop moving entirely. That's why if you put them on a warm surface like a warm table or the palm of your hand, they start jumping because they think that they're in the sun and they're trying to get away. So Mexican jumping beans are indeed real. They're not originally from Mexico, they're from Costa Rica. They don't jump, they more sort of wobble, and they're not beans, they're seeds with larvae inside. But if I'm honest, I don't think that Costa Rican wobbling larva is much of a better selling name. And if you've been sat there this whole time thinking, wow, I can't believe this person didn't know that Mexican jumping beans were real this whole time, or if this is you finding out today that Mexican jumping beans are indeed real, please let me know in the comments, because I'd love to know roughly what part of the world you're from. Thanks very much, like the video if you liked it, and subscribe if you'd like to see more of this. See you next time.